Oh my gosh, I just realized that I'm still online. Oh my gosh, that's so crack up. I did not notice that I actually pressed start. Damn girl, are you okay? No, I'm fine, I'm fine. It's probably that Mercury retrograde going on in the air right now. Anyways, as you can see, I was admiring my handiwork here of my earring that I made. The same earring I was wearing the other day, but I decided to add a little something something to it. Some shells and some little stuff from the beach. Some knickknacks, some nickety nick. Nickelodeon. Shout out to Nickelodeon. I mean, I don't really care about yo-yo, but that's okay, because, you know, I'm not gonna go up and down like a yo-yo. Anyways, as you can tell by the title, guys, I wanted to do a quick video and talk about making your desires work for you. Because I've been thinking about a few different topics. I was pondering today a lot about, like, what could be the next topic that I could talk about. Because sometimes I find myself like, oh my gosh, this is a good topic, that's a good topic, that's a good topic, and that's a good topic. But they all are kind of different. So I want to kind of, I don't know, kill a few birds with a stone, you know, so that I can get a few different topics down pat while I'm doing these videos. Anyways, enough of my Gemini Mercury. I wanted to talk about specifically, obviously, desires and also balance, because I noticed these two can kind of come hand in hand. Well, balance goes hand in hand with everything. You should always apply a form of balance to what you're doing in terms of like moderating the amounts of each side that you do, or moderating how deep you go into something and how shallow you go into something, whether that's a person, place, thing, situation, whatever. And then when it comes to this balance, it had me pondering and had me thinking about how when the times when I resisted balance or resisted a certain thing rather than allowing things to flow, um, allowing things to kind of unfold in a natural way rather than forcing it or resisting it, because those are both forms of forcing, right? You're resisting something, you're forcing it not to happen. And if you're forcing it to happen. So either way, whether you're resisting or forcing, that's like a similar energy playing out. And that's also why, as well, when you force something a lot, you feel resistance, because everything's a mirror. Everything's mirroring back to you what kind of energy you're doing yourself. So you force it, boom, you're getting that repercussion, that um vision, that you know, playing out of that energy of the mirror energy of what you're doing, which is the forcing energy in itself. So that, you know, took me down this whole kind of dynamic of realizing how obviously when you do allow things to flow, things actually begin to unfold a lot more quicker than when you force something. Because even when you're in a forcing state, you're in that impatient mindset. You're trying to force it and you're trying to constantly get it to happen. And why? Because you are impatient and you're not allowing it to happen in the time that it's needing to happen. Because if you did allow it to happen in the time that it's needing to happen, you would just be like in that free flowing state. You would be like, I don't really mind. You know, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, then that's okay too. I'm willing to try again and put more effort into that. So that's how. Anyways, don't mind that, guys. Hope you guys can't hear it too loud. The laughing in the background, but I'm not going to stop someone from living their life. I was going to. I had that moment. I was like, but then I'm like, no, let me just chill. It's the daytime. People enjoying themselves. Like, I don't need to be all up in people's grills if they're noisy. And at the end of the day, like, that's not really a problem anyway. It's kind of a pseudo problem, like you create for yourself when there's noise in the background, or you know, because you really just deep down want something to be perfect. You know, you want something to perfectly align and be in alignment with what you're doing, but you should be the one making it perfectly aligned. And that's again going back to that forcing energy, because when you're trying to make it perfect, you're forcing it to be perfect, right? rather than going with the flow, aka allowing it to happen, even though it's noisy and you don't like it, you just allow that thing to happen, allow it to flow, and keep going with what you're doing, flow with the video, flow with the moment, and then that'll end up in you creating the experience of you being able to have that quiet space regardless, even though you didn't actually take any action or steps towards stopping that noisiness from happening. And that's what I mean when I'm talking about allowing things to flow versus forcing them. When you allow it to flow, it's more of the energy I just explained. When you're forcing it, it's more of that, oh, I need to get up, I need to make this happen and this happen and this happen so that I can finally do this. Rather than just allowing it to flow. Just flow with it, flow with the moment, you know what I mean? Because I noticed as well in other scenarios and many different scenarios, like for example, this is a really good example that I thought of while I was preparing for this video, is I've been making beats and trying to make music online on my computer for about a year, or maybe even a year and a half, maybe even 2 years. 2 years is probably a stretch. I go on and off with those kind of stuff, but I started to make beats about a year or a year and a half ago. And I'd been going hard at it every single day, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like as many hours as I possibly could during my day of making music that was like healthy, and sustainable for me to live a life. I would put in as many hours as I could possibly, or as I thought I could, because at the end of the day, there are always ways, there's always avenues to kind of slip more things in and do more things, but, to the best of my ability. And so what I noticed is that the more and more I did that, the more and more I felt that resistant energy, or the more and more I felt an energy of needing to kind of calm down and allow things to flow rather than force it. Because now I'm in a state where I don't actually make beats or try to make beats or music as often as I normally would, because I'm used to doing it every single day. But when I do it, I noticed the massive improvement, as opposed to when I was doing it before every day and it was more of a natural thing. There was a massive improvement too. Now I'm noticing more of an improvement of not doing it. So it's like your life will show you the times when you actually need to balance and recorrelate and go back to another aspect or another way of acting in that same arena, So in terms of music, life showed me when I needed to actually calm down and let go of that music and feeling like I needed to do it every day, and showed me even circumstances of showing how that is benefiting me. But if you're not aware and you're not paying attention to each moment and each instant, then you won't be able to pick up on a lot of these messages that life will literally show you, or, whatever you believe in, God, the universe, all possibilities, But it's the same kind of mechanism that we're all paying attention to, whether you want to call it this or you want to call it that. Like, I'm not sitting here trying to worry about the name or the title or what it is. I'm just trying to talk about generally what it encompasses. What is the behavior? What is the characteristic that we're observing that everyone likes to put names, titles, and so on to? Damn. So, when you start to notice things like that, you'll start to realize how in certain circumstances it may be necessary for you to indulge into your desires a little bit more.